Welcome to SidekicksDirect, your source for the latest news and interviews straight from the Dallas Sidekicks. Help us grow the channel by hitting the subscribe button and being the first to be notified of new content from the team. Now, here's your host, Scott Wegener.
Welcome into Sidekicks Direct. As our wonderful intro said, I am Scott Wegener. Let's take care of some business before we hop in with our guest. Put yourself in the boots of a soldier in the U.S. Army and take real steps towards becoming a leader while you make a real difference in the world around you. You'll gain leadership skills in one of more than 150 career fields. Find out if you qualify, take a step forward, and become a leader that can make a difference. See yourself in our boots at goarmy.com/DFW. I'm really excited to be joined today by my good friend Mike Jones. He has played in the NPSL. He has played in the MASL. He has played in the MLS. He has played with North Texas Riados, the legendary amateur club that has played in a number of U.S. Open Cups. So first off, now that I got the intro out of the way, Mike, how are you?
What's up, man? I miss you, buddy.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we I don't think I've seen you since media day when the Sidekicks took on the Kansas City Comets, and we were all there for what felt like an eternity, but it was good. It was good to be back at the Allen Event Center and back on the field and, you know, actually watching some real soccer. So I'm going to start with that. What was it like to finally get back out there in the Central Cup and play after all this time off?
Man, you know, honestly, I'm just as a player and as players, you're kind of just blessed to be able to do this. I know there are some clubs and some other professional teams and some amateur teams who just aren't able to just make this work. So the fact that the league organized this so that we are capable of playing alone, that's great, man. I mean, you know, we live and breathe through soccer. So no matter what anyone says, this is just what we do. So it's great to be able to have a tournament like that. Of course, I get to play against basically both my hometowns where I grew up, which is St. Louis and Kansas City, and then play against a legendary team in Wichita. You know, I'm glad that they're able to come back and start a team again. So just an awesome opportunity. Like I said, we're blessed to be able to play. It was good to kind of get our, as Juan would say, get our feet wet. And it was just awesome, man. It was just awesome to see everybody come together and be able to play in this league, in this tournament.
All right, I was going to save this for a little later, but since you brought it up, we'll stick with the Central Cup, that Wichita Wings game. So I was watching it at home, and you had a play where I can't remember how it came to you. Somebody had outletted it to you, and you were on the left-hand side, and you had an assist, but you had my favorite type of assist. It was a nutmeg assist, and I think it was Varela that finished it. Were you going for between his legs, or is that just where the ball found itself going?
Honestly, bro, that's just where the ball found itself.
Bad answer. Say it again. Say, yes, I was doing it.
Behind the guy running, but somehow it just kind of slid right. I mean, it looked great and cool. I'll take it. I'll take it for looks. I'll take that.
I was trying. So just a little peel behind the curtain. I do some of the video editing for the Sidekicks, mostly some of the more simple stuff. And I was trying to get a good, clean, like slow motion of the nutmeg, and like where you were positioned and where the camera was positioned, you couldn't really see the ball go through his legs. So I was really bummed out about it.
No, yeah, I've had a couple of those. I've been very fortunate with my nutmeg passes. I've had a couple of those. So it's not every day that you see me in a 2-on-1 like that, which was a great pass by Dario and right into my run lane. And then I was able to take a touch and I just slid it right through. 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to shoot the ball. I'm going to set someone else up, and everyone should know that by now. So when the opportunity does happen that I'll shoot it. But other than that, I'm looking to dish the ball off.
Listen, man, I need you to shoot more, because your celebration might be the coolest celebration that I've seen, where you do the backflip, which we got to see once a couple of years ago. And I didn't know that was something you had done. I've known you for a while, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But you hit a goal and you just run to the middle of the field and just do a handspring into a backflip. Like, where did that come from?
I remember that. Yeah, it was on a set play. RJ passed me the ball. And then luckily Cam faked out the goalie and the ball went into the right corner. And you know, I'm old now. I'm old now, bro. I don't know if I flip now, if I can get all the way over there. So this year I'm gonna stick with just doing the Tootsie Slide as a celebration.
Okay. I thought you're gonna go with like a cartwheel or something, just or a round off if you can't quite get the legs up that high.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before we talk a little bit more about soccer, I want to make a quick transition over to your Instagram, because I think it's really important to bring this up, and something that I've known you for a number of years now. We first met when you were with the Fort Worth Vaqueros of the MPSL 4 or 5 years ago. I've always considered you just like a really cool guy and somebody I really enjoy talking to. But the past couple of years, as I've gotten to know you, I follow you on Instagram, and your Instagram handle is MagicMike5. So go follow you and go follow him, excuse me. And one of the things that I really appreciate about your page is you seem to have a never-ending string of positivity in a world that can be so negative. Is that something that like calculated that you do, or is that just the nature of who you are?
Honestly, bro, at first it was just calculated. I noticed the environment that I allowed myself to be around was full of everything, positive, negative. It was just very unbalanced. So as far as calculation, I would always try and find positive things and post myself and motivate myself, because the surroundings that I had, the friendships I had, the connections I had maybe weren't the best at the time. So that was my avenue of basically hyping my own self up. But now I've I've gotten rid of all of those things. I've gotten rid of anything negative, anything that brings me down, anything that does not make me feel good. And now it's just the way of life right now. I just like to connect to everything that's nature related, that's natural, that's organic, and that's positive. And I've been getting a lot of feedback from just random people who like maybe needed to hear that today, or just whatever. And now it's just been something I've really made sure is a lifestyle. And that's kind of what keeps me just going every morning, every night.
All right. Well, speaking of the mornings and your Instagram page, one of the other things I noticed, and you were in the office, I don't know, it was probably like 2 weeks ago or so, signing the contract to return to the Sidekicks. And I kind of gave you a little bit of grief, because if you go to Mike's Instagram page, you'll also see that he is doing workouts all the time. But he's not like a normal human being that goes after work at, 6 o'clock or whatever it may be, or catches a workout on their lunch break. You're at the gym at like 3 a.m. I swear to God, man. Because I get up at 6 and I usually check Instagram first thing in the morning, and there's already a video of you lifting weights or you running. What are you doing? Why are you getting up so early, my man?
Sometimes, bro, I just can't sleep. Like sometimes I just can't sleep. And when I'm up, I get up and I go to the gym. First off, nobody's there. Thank God. And, I knock out what I need to knock out. I do some sprints, I do some running. Sometimes I even train some people who want to get trained in the morning before they go to work. And, bro, if I'm up, I'm going to hit it hard. I mean, it's like I said, it's been a lifestyle. And, it makes me sane. It sounds crazy at 3:45 and 4 o'clock in the morning, but it just makes me sane, bro. And then I have the rest of my day to do, whatever, like hit the gym again.
I was gonna say, the only thing at like 4 o'clock in the morning that makes me sane is generally like a cup of coffee or a Diet Coke. One of those two things is usually the thing that gets me going. I've never been able to do the super early in the AM workouts. I was always an after worker on a lunch break kind of workout guy, and kind of let myself go here during the COVID. Got to get back into it as soccer season's starting back up for me in February too. So not quite at your level, obviously.
No, I've seen you play, bro. I see what you got.
I'm all right. I can do a little bit here and there. I have moments of brilliance and then a lot more moments of mediocrity. So, let's get into a little bit of your playing. Oh, but I was gonna say, one of these days I'm gonna join you in the morning.
Please.
And I got to get out there and start get back into running shape. So I'm going to get out there to Hidden Gym. It's right around the corner from our office here in Allen. And it's such a cool, I love how open it is. It just has a very different feel as a gym. And I mean this with all the respect in the world. There's some dudes there that are like lifters. You know what I'm saying? Like they're power guys. They're all so cool. Every time I've been in there, everybody that I've talked to is so cool. They're like, I'm a scrawny dude. They're not like that. You know what I mean? They're not judging me for putting, 35 pounds on my squats or whatever it may be.
Right. Yeah. And actually shout out to Hidden Gym and Greg and Tana. They run that spot so good. I mean, just so welcoming and obviously they're sponsors of the team, and it's just like, just a place you can go where you feel like you're at home. Yeah. And then not many gyms have that feeling. So shout out to them.
Yeah, I dig the feeling over there, and I've gotten to meet Greg a few times. He's such a cool dude, and he's actually another fun follow on Instagram because he's like into motorcycle racing, powerlifting. That guy's crazy.
Motorcycle.
All right, let's jump into your playing career pre Sidekicks. So I don't know if a lot of people know this, but it's one of the first things that I learned about you. You played in the MLS in New York, correct?
Yeah, with Sporting Kansas City. First, they drafted me out of college, and then to New York.
So, what was your experience like in the MLS? Obviously, when you played, and I don't mean this as an old man dig, but it was a little different when you were playing in the MLS than it is now. There's more TV coverage. There's more commentators that are talking about it. There's a bigger fan base. What was it like being in the MLS when you were in it, as it was still kind of growing a little bit?
Man, it's so different because when I joined the MLS, my roommate was CJ Sapong, who's a current Chicago Fire player. So, but I played for a coach called Peter Vermees, very old school guy, a legend in the league as well. But MLS was different, bro. It was capped. Like you could only make a certain amount on the age of 25. If you weren't in the top 10, then you had a regular contract. Obviously, the top 10 was Generation Adidas. But as far as players, the league minimum was 35,000 at the time. Now the league minimum. Now I think it's at 100,000. So it's just crazy because I feel like MLS doesn't get very much support from I want to say the world, because MLS is like the only professional league where you have to earn your money. It's not like you don't get because you're the 10th round pick or the 10th pick of the draft, you get 100,000 or 400 million. It's not how that works. You have to earn your money, and people don't understand that when it comes to MLS. So I respect the players as far as that goes, because it takes a lot for you to earn your contract. But it's very hard-nosed, man. It's very old school. MLS is about being more athletic than it's about skill. Now you're starting to see more of the skillful players come in. But now the direction is just young. It's young. Whereas when I went in, it was old. It was David Beckham. It was, Frank Roast. It was Thierry Henry. So, a lot of those things just, you have to earn.
So you had mentioned a name, and I once asked you many, many years ago, who was the best / most famous player that you ever played with? And you told me it was probably Henry. Yes. Because you played with him at the Red Bulls. What was it like playing with a guy who was literally an international superstar, kind of at the winding down of his career, but still a huge name in the soccer world, even today? What was it like being around that, the media circus that was around that, and playing with a guy that had played in World Cups?
I mean, a legend, man. I mean, absolute legend. He had a nickname for me. He called me Mikey D. I never knew why, because my last name was a J. So I let it go. It was him. He's a superstar.
Yeah, right. You gonna question Thierry Henry?
Yeah, every training session, he always expected the best out of you, and when you didn't get that, he would call you out and everybody else out. I mean, what are the chances of a guy from Missouri getting to play for New York Red Bulls and playing alongside a legend like that. I mean, it's just life changing, man. I mean, the guy taught me so much about life, about the game, how to play it, how to approach it. I really got to live through him. And when I say live through him, I got to see what it's like to be a superstar, or what it's like to go to the airport and not be able to grab coffee or food and just sit down and drink it and enjoy it without people coming to you and disturbing you. And, just a lot of things from him I learned just about life in general, man.
I got to say that it's so cool. I mean, I've gotten to meet a few soccer legends, especially here locally in DFW, but nothing to the level of Thierry Henry, and being able to play with him it's such an incredible thing. And it's great to hear that a guy with that kind of star power didn't just come in and loaf and collect a paycheck from the MLS. Like, he came in, practiced, and expected you to be on the same level that he was in. I find that very admirable.
Yeah, man, just a great overall person, man. Just so much about him just makes you want to get better.
So I want to move on now a little bit. So you have been with the Sidekicks. This is your second stint with the Sidekicks. How many, finding stats on the MASL site because of the name changes and things, is this your third year with the Sidekicks overall?
This will be my fourth year.
Fourth year.
Sidekicks. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. First off, what brought you back to the franchise?
Honestly, bro, it's nice to be home. It's nice to be home. I mean, I've never wanted to leave Sidekicks. It just the cards just kind of folded that way. I wanted to see, what was different out there, maybe experience something different. And I did that for a year, and it was great. I don't regret any of it. But I'm happy to be back home.
Well, I mean, obviously, we're happy to have you back. Again, you're one of my favorite people. So I was really excited when I got the news and when you popped in the office that day and we're signing. It was great to see you again. Let's move. Let me move away from the Sidekicks momentarily, because I want to talk about your time with North Texas Rayados. So, legendary amateur club, right? I'm gonna use amateur in air quotes, because most of you guys that are on that team have played professionally somewhere at some point, right? I mean, you're a mercenary team a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So what's it been like playing with in the outdoor club, the Rayados, and being in the Open Cup nearly every year now for, I don't even know how long it's been. It's been an incredible run for you guys. What's that been like being one of the premier amateur teams in all of the country?
Man, it's a great experience. I mean, I didn't really expect to get the chance to play with them. I mean, Cody Ellis has been playing with them for 10 years. This year was my 7th year with them. And it's just, like you said, a bunch of mercenary ex-pro guys who have come together. And we're like the old men of the league around here. But we've been through so much together. We're such a family, and shout out to the head coach Tito. He makes sure that we're all grounded, and we're thankful for being a part of something bigger than just the team. I mean, it's like I said, it's a family, and we've been able to do some extraordinary things consistently, and just being with a group of guys who know how to play the game. They're not running wild. They're just. It's awesome, man, and we get the experience of basically playing MLS without being in MLS,
mm-hmm.
and we get the experience of traveling and just the places that we've gone, the tournaments that we've been in. It's been really awesome, man. There's a really solid team. Obviously, I'm gonna keep playing with them more. The opportunity presents itself, but to play for a legendary team like that in the summer and get the cardio, get the extra games, it's just been awesome.
All right, I know the guys on the Rayados you're all getting up there in age, but I need you to stay out of the over 30 leagues, because I don't want to go against Cody, and I really don't want to go against you either, man. It just doesn't look like fun to me anymore. So I need you guys to just stay in that Division 1 and just stay out of the over 30 leagues for me, okay? Because I don't need to leave a game with bumps and bruises, because I'm gonna give it my all, and I know it isn't gonna be good enough, and I'm gonna end up getting hurt for sure.
Don't worry, bro. Listen, I'm down to one game a week, and I'm good. I'm good. I need an ice bath after that.
I know, fair enough. No, I definitely hear you with that one. So before I let you go, We'll circle back to the Sidekicks now and talk about the season. The Central Cup, I think, went really well for you guys. A tough loss in the first game against Kansas City, excuse me. A game in which you were in the fourth quarter, and as you were down late, you started to push forward, and things just got away at the end. The score did not reflect the competitiveness of the game.
Yeah.
What was it like going in there? You guys got a win against a historic franchise in the Wichita Wings. You beat a St. Louis team, which, like you said, is your hometown, and a team that a lot of people expect in the MASL to do some really great things as they played well towards the end of the season and signed a legend in Max Ferdinand. What was it like for the team to play well and get that experience in the Central Cup?
Yeah, man. Well, first, like I said, the tournament was awesome. I mean, they couldn't have been put together better. I mean, they had the protocols, everything together right, COVID protocols right. So shout out to the league for that. But our first game against Kansas City, like you said, the score didn't kind of reflect as into how we did as a team. That was the first time all of us were together again. So getting familiar with each other was going to be a stepping stool, and we knew that. We just didn't know as into what how it would be. So we were working on chemistry. Chemistry is what we needed, and that Kansas City game really taught us that we had a little bit more to go. And Kansas City is a good team. They know how to play. They're legends. They know the game of soccer. So they got the better of us at that game. But then we played Wichita. We saw things started to click. We switched goalie to Sonaldo, which has been an awesome acquisition with him. And just getting familiar with the players, with each other, how each other move, just kind of our skill sets. And it finally started to click in when we played St. Louis. I think that was the game that really kind of broke out, to the league to let everyone know that, hey, we're not going to go down so easily, or, we're getting better. And, hopefully we can build from that game, that last game that we played. Obviously those results came out to be what we really wanted. I mean, you know me. I second place is a loss to me. So
exactly. I was going to say that. That was my next thing.
I would have loved to win first, obviously, but we let that first game slip. But at the end of the day, the bigger picture was we got our chemistry. We found what we needed to do. We found what our weaknesses were, what our strong points were, and I know this past couple of weeks in practice we've been really hitting those pretty hard. So. I'm looking forward to the first game, which is on Saturday. We get to play Kansas City again. They're rough, we're rough, and it's going to be skill versus skill. And I've been fortunate to have a lot of good friends. Max is a good friend of mine, so playing against him and talking to him about where the league's at and where we're going has been amazing. And then. Again, also a good friend that we play against on Saturdays, Leo Gibson. He was also a guy that I was in Sporting Kansas City with in MLS. So him and I go way back as well. He's going to be playing on Saturday. And, it's just going to be nice. It's going to be nice to get out there and it's the start of the season. So these games count now. There's no room for error. There's nothing that's going to leave room for our mistakes that we made in the Central Cup.
So I was on with Juan Gamboa here earlier this week. We released that one, and I talked to him about a couple of the new guys that are on the team. And obviously you're a savvy veteran at this point. There's a couple of new guys relatively new to the MASL. You've played with one of them before, and one of them is new to you. I want to ask you about two guys who I think are going to make a big difference for the Sidekicks this year. Julio Varela, who I think is an incredible player, and Oscar Romero. I know you played with him a little bit with that other indoor team in Dallas. What do you make of them, and what do they add to the team? And what did you think of Romero's absolute golazo against the Wings, man? That was a banger.
Man, I didn't know he had it in him. I didn't know, honestly. They're young players. They're very versatile. They have so much room to improve. and they're just doing it naturally, man. I think once you get them in their natural, comfortable state, that's when they do the best. And, you know, having players like that in the midfield, I mean, it's a dream come true for me. You know, I see everything on the field. I see absolutely everything. That's the fortunate thing about being a defender. You know, having goalkeepers that are good at their feet, like Juan, Sonaldo. Those are both players who are very skilled, very technical. You know, I don't have to worry about them. You know, so trusting them in the back, I'm good on that. Defenders, we're getting better. There could be a lot more blocks and a lot more stops to make, but nothing that we can't fix. So I'm good on that. Our midfielder core is probably the most talented. Very young, very skilled. I mean, the control that they have, like I said, they're very versatile. They're gonna be our hidden gems, so to speak, if you ask me. Like I said, having a skilled player like Oscar, who's also played for North Texas. I mean, the guy's quick. The guy is just quick, and you know, just letting them loose, and it's amazing, man. It's amazing what they can do. And right, Varela, and you know, he's a guy who's just, his speed sneaks up on you. You think one day he's gonna isolate you, and then he just takes off and goes. So, you know, just it's crazy, and players like Lipe, you know, just crazy just to see the young talent, what they have. You know, it kind of just shocked you. Kind of just sit back. As a defender, you just want to give them the ball, and you just sit back and you're like, okay, do your thing. I'll sit right here. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about me. I'm good in the back. But it's awesome, man. I mean, and the forwards that we have, you know, obviously we have a veteran like Freddie, and you know, we have Scott, Victor. You know, just God, man, just stacked, like talented, stacked. Just crazy, man. Just crazy things we have. And then Anthony Powell, who's just going to be a dagger up there. Just insane. The talent is insane.
I've said a number of times on this podcast, just talking soccer, there is nobody I want to see running at me less in a one-on-one than Anthony Powell. Nobody.
Oh,
like
quick, man.
He just does the things he can do. I mean, Lipe might be a pretty close second, I suppose, when I think about it. So you had mentioned blocked shots. Last year, you were in the top 10 in the league in blocked shots. You had a couple last year against Lipe. You know, as we've been talking about him, obviously one of the best players in the league. What's it like to now be able to distribute the ball to him instead of having to stand in front of that right foot of his?
I'm happy. I'm super happy, and it's great. Like I told you, if I could pass the ball off, I'm gonna pass the ball off 9 times out of 10. And who perfectly than not pass it off to that guy? I mean, just seeing what he does with the ball. I mean, you see defenders, as soon as he gets the ball, defenders back away. They respect him now, in the league, and he's a great player. He has, like I said, a lot of room to grow. What's gonna be big for us is playing to his strengths, and also being able to be versatile so that we don't just rely on him. Because what will happen is teams are going to start scouting us, and they're going to start seeing that we go through Lipe. And as talented as he is, I mean, he can change an entire game. I mean, you saw against Kansas City, he scored a hat trick like it was nothing. So that St. Louis game, we really got to branch out and see a couple players just kind of, take over the reins and score. So it was good for us as a team. We adjusted very, very well. So I'm looking forward to that.
Mike, it has been such a pleasure sitting down and chatting with you, man. I'm excited for Saturday. I'm hoping that we can get this released here before then. We're looking to release it Saturday morning for the Sidekicks fans. You're an absolute legend in DFW and honestly across the country with everywhere you've played. It's an honor to be, a friend of yours, and I'm really looking forward to those hidden gym workouts at 4 a.m. coming up here, hopefully in the near future. Before I let you go, one last question: prediction for the season for the Sidekicks. What are you expecting out of this team? Let's say, I know the schedule's kind of up in the air. Let's say they play. Let's say we play a 20-game schedule. What are you looking record-wise?
20 games, man. I'm not gonna put a number on it, but I'm gonna say we'll definitely be above 500, and I think we'll make the last seed of the playoffs.
I dig it, man. I've been waiting for the playoffs since I joined this team 3 years ago. So I am really excited. Mike, again, we appreciate you being on Sidekicks Direct. For those of you watching along, hit that subscribe button on YouTube, and listening, hit the like button on, actually, I think it's the follow button on Spotify, and the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts as well. Rate us, review us, give us 5 stars, maybe 4. I don't know. I'm not that handsome, so sometimes I lose a star for looks alone. But Mike, it's been a pleasure, man. I appreciate you coming on, and looking forward to the season.
I appreciate it, man. It's so good to see you, bro. I'll see you real soon.